Welcome to Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae, the podcast where we empower and inspire you to achieve unstoppable confidence and self-belief. I'm your host, Kalia Janae, a wife, mom, entrepreneur, as well as a certified life coach and motivational speaker with a background in humanities and communication. I'm excited to navigate this transformative journey with you. In each episode, I'll bring you candid conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories from remarkable women who have conquered many challenges and risen to new heights. Get ready to have your crown straightened as we listen, learn, and laugh together so we can level up. Let's dive in. I have this joke on the show where I always say, I'm not Barbara Walters, and this isn't 60 Minutes. This is really very 60 Minutes.
I'm sure you were not expecting this when I said, oh, I'm just going to set everything up. So we'll just run it like, that way we'll get all the content that we really need.
I mean,
The whole word.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you say we're already ready?
Yeah, it's all of them already.
All right, so the absence of the director, I guess we'll just check with you.
Yeah.
All right, great. First of all, Nikki, wow, thank you for being here. Y'all, we are live on location here in Atlanta. This is exciting. So this is the new edition, a special edition of Crown Level Confidence, and I'm so excited to be doing it with you, of all people. Everyone knows I always only have amazing women on the show, and you are nothing short of that. So let's just get that out of the way.
Thank you.
Y'all, I have with me the amazing, the illustrious, the never duplicated, always wanting to be replicated, Nikki Cullen. So, y'all, oh my gosh, my first memory with you that I can pull is in Florida.
At the door.
At the door. Talking about worlds colliding and just hitting it off as if we already knew each other, as if we were already in like this kind of moment. Mm-hmm. And that was amazing. You know, both of us.
Extreme energy.
Extreme energy.
They were not ready for that door.
No, I wasn't even supposed to be there, but I took myself there anyway, as on my own, you know, journey at a different space, you know, in that time. But you were such a highlight.
I think you had pom-poms.
Yeah.
And I saw pom-poms. And I was like, this looks fun. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I want to participate.
Yeah.
Pom-poms.
You know me, I was just ready to serve. You know, at that time, the people we were associated with, they needed me to do something. So I said, sure, I'm here. I'll do it. You know, I'll be a greeter at this event. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad because that, I feel like, set the tone for every other time I've seen you.
Right.
You know, we were able to be ourselves, our full selves.
Exactly.
And never have to minimize in front of each other, never have to, I mean, first of all, we don't have to regardless. But you know how it is when you know you can fill a room and someone else can fill a room, if the energies don't vibe,
when it's more competition than collaboration, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You know, if you can't vibe, you collide.
Right.
So, but I've never experienced that with you. And I'm so grateful because I've been able to grow. I've seen you grow in all these amazing ways we're going to talk about in the next couple of minutes. And I feel privileged. I do. Like, I know her. And she knows me. Because that's important too, right? It's not just who you know, but it's also who knows you.
Right. Right. That reciprocation.
Right.
It's reciprocation.
So, but I mean, every time I have heard you speak, I've heard you, you know, speak and share your story just in different platforms. I always learn something new and amazing about you, so I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Everyone knows our show is not scripted whatsoever, so this is exciting. But on top of that, the things I do know, and every time I learn something even greater about you, I'm continually impressed. Yes, because you have such amazing insights, right? You have experience. You've got, I mean, who wouldn't want to even just look at you? First of all. But it's important to know the woman beyond the success, right? And I say the success, you have had several successes, right? Like, I can think of, gosh, at least 4 different
platforms or ways in business alone that I know you've been successful outside of your home and the kids you have and just everything you've been through in your life to overcome as a person and as a strong woman, but like multiple industries. She just like shows up, learns it, dominates it, gets her bag and gets out. On to the next. Tell me I'm wrong.
Seasons. It's like, oh, okay, that season, time to get off that train. Okay, great.
Yeah, right. So I don't want to deprive everyone of telling your story for you, but I just want to set the tone, right? Because I appreciate you being here. You didn't have to. Right? Like, you don't even live here. And here we are making this happen. I so greatly appreciate it. So, y'all, Nikki Cullen. So, Nikki, tell us, here at Crown Level Confidence, our goal, we're leading women worldwide to raise their confidence and lower their stress. We take on so many different roles as women. Right. Stress looks like different things.
Right.
So in your success or from your, point of view, how do you address stress in your life?
So I love the name of the show, Crown Level Confidence. I love the idea of raising your confidence and bringing down the stress because I think that they do go hand in hand. I think that in my personal journey, as my confidence has grown, I've just started taking stuff off my plate that creates stress. I think a lot of times we're stressed because we are putting too many things that don't belong on the plate on the plate.
Yes.
And, like I was talking to somebody a couple days ago and I said, like, the reality is the decision was made immediately upon it being there. It's the action that follows the decision. So I think when it comes to stress, it's like, do I really have to do this? Is this a necessity in my life? No, you're coming off of my plate.
Be gone.
It's really just that simple because like I have always said this even before like the entrepreneurship, before any of this stuff, I don't get the last 30 seconds of my life back. God has already scripted out what those seconds are, what those minutes are. He's not adding additional seconds because I'm choosing to waste them on things that do not serve me and things that are stressing me out. So like if we get that reality and and it's definitely a balance because early in life I had that reality and it was bad. It's like, you're stressing me, you're out of here. And I think that that's a lot of the relationships that I wound up going through, marriage and all those things, because it was like, I'm not staying around for this. So I think that you definitely have to have some balance in that as you kind of grow into your next levels. But I think the stress aspect, and mind you, you're gonna have levels of stress no matter what you put your hand to. But it's looking at this is a decision I need to make and then acting quickly on the decision and not taking forever to like script it out. It's like, so today this is stressing me out. Necessity or not necessity? Can I put this in a different compartment? And I just think that us acting on the decisions of knowing what we should keep on the plate or if we should do the thing and not prolonging and procrastinating on the action.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's it. So
yeah,
that's how I deal. And I mean, I have stress. I have, goodness gracious, I have 5 kids and a grandson. Yeah. So let's be clear, there's stress, and and me and my kid's father, we co-parent. So that that's a level of stress that's there. But it's how much stress am I going to allow? Because I'm not I'm not going to look like some old lady. I'm not going to look like a hag. It's just not happening.
No.
No.
No. So stress. Yes, and it's such a blanket word. So part of my journey, I remember being in the doctor's office and them looking at my chart because I was there for some mystery illness. And my boyfriend at the time, husband now, was with me in and out of the hospital all the time. And no one could figure out what was going on. Body just breaking down.
Right.
And so the doctor, he's like, okay, well, describe your life. And so I tell him, about all the things I had to do, right? That was my life, the things. How I volunteered, how I, all of what I did, the doing. And he was like, so I asked you to describe your life, and you just told me a list of things that you do, but that's not your life. And I was like, no, but it is. Right. And he was like, you're not taking care of yourself. He was like, it sounds like you have a lot of stress. And I was like, stress? First of all, I don't even think I knew what the word meant. But I think I just got defensive because I was like, no, I'm a strong, independent Black woman. I got this. Like, that's just stuff that needs to happen. Like, I'm on top of it all. And he's like, okay, but clearly your health is falling apart. So, you know, he's asking me, well, what do you do for fun? And how do you decompress? And when do you have quiet time? And, you know, Daniel's there like, yeah. I thought my life was built on going to sleep after midnight and waking up by 5 and doing all the things, you know? And so the doctor was like, it's clearly not sustainable. So you're gonna not work for the next 90 days. Like, we're gonna contact your job and tell them that now you need to not. It was that bad. He was like, you're gonna die.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, excuse me.
These
are my things.
Right.
I am, like, my identity was all the things I was doing.
All the things.
And so, you know, talk about a wake-up call. And then it just, once I stopped and I had that time, then all this other stuff that I'd never thought about or that I never dealt with
is born.
Yeah, you know, everything just starts coming up and coming out, good and bad.
Yeah.
And so for me, you know, using this platform to talk about stress and to bring other amazing women into the conversation to say, okay, like, let's expose this, right? We need to bust this myth.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Of the trope of the strong. There is strength in choosing to say no.
Oh, yeah. No, and no is a complete sentence that does not need a follow-up or an explanation. No can be just because I said, you know, like when we were kids, like that was the answer our parents gave us.
Yes.
Like, so I don't know why we hit adulthood and we feel like we can't, because for me, like, that's what runs through my head when I'm like, no, like, I know how, but it's a no.
Right.
It's a no. And I do think, especially, and I, you know, like, one of the things I'm super grateful for is when we had to do that testing on Strength Finders. And I learned that in my top 5 strengths, I'm a relator and I'm an includer. So I like to be included. I like to be relatable. I want everybody to get along.
Yeah.
But in that, what I learned is I was exposing myself to extreme levels of, like, people being able to use those gifts. Like, no, like, no. And I think like when my relationship with God started to get strong, like, this statement became a blanket statement for everyone in my life, and it just continues to get stronger, is that is not how God treats me. That's not. He spoils me. He loves me. Like, he doesn't use my gifts. He does not use me. He's called me, and I then have a choice if I use the gifts he gave me to edify his kingdom and to do his work.
Absolutely.
But God is not a user. You know, everybody's running around, God is using me, God is using me, God is using me. God's not a user.
Right.
He loves us too much
for
that. He gives us gifts, and then he gives us a choice if we choose to use them for his glory. So I think that, and I think that, like, it's a hard place to be in, like, when your personality is that of, like, service.
Yes.
It's like you really have to pray for discernment.
Yes.
Because just because you have the gift of, like, I want to serve, I want to love, I want to this, God didn't call you to all these people.
It's not your assignment.
Like, what? No. Like, it's a no.
Right.
You know, and it's and like the discernment piece is understanding that, like, no matter what level is, because a lot of times, you know, you have these people in your life that can take mentorship roles or take leadership roles in your life, and then you feel obligated. You know, it is still okay to be like, no, I'm grateful that you're that, but it's still a no for you too.
It's still a no for you.
Because God didn't say do that.
Right.
He didn't tell me to go walk that path. And so many times we extend the path, like we're adding extra crap that God never intended us to do if we would just go from point A to point B and listen when he's saying no. Because, like, the simplicity, and, like, when I say the closer I get to God, the easier this is for me. It's like the simplicity is when you ask yourself that question, did God give me the green light?
It takes a lot of guesswork out of it.
You know what I mean? Like, we know he ain't give us the green light. You know you're not supposed to be.
Yes, that person is not your project.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to help. I can't even tell you how many people I feel like I want to help. God did not tell me, girl, my bank account looks so different right now.
Seriously.
All these projects and assignments and things and busy. Like busy to me is like, that's the devil. Busy work. You know, like busy. Like, no. Like, it's intentional action, and it's being obedient to what he told you to do. That takes all of the guesswork and the stress piece that comes with like, oh, I'm gonna do, well, my heart, girl, I'm like, your heart will lead you straight to hell. You know, like that statement, follow your heart. Yeah, it'll lead you straight to hell.
Definitely.
It will lead you straight to hell. But if you're listening to what it is that God is telling you, and you're like, because he makes it clear, God's not of confusion, so he makes it super clear for us.
Yes.
So like, if he's giving us the path, and it's like, if it is all falling to pieces, hello, caution light, God is trying to put stumbling blocks there for you, and you're just like, oh, no, I like, you know what I mean? I like to fall. No. God, like, and I think that's a big piece, is like getting closer to God also makes it a lot clearer. Because when it's too much going on in a situation, it's like, oh, did you clear me to do this? Because why do I have all this resistance doing this thing that supposedly you told me to do? Why am I getting so much? No. God doesn't work like that. Like, not in my life. I mean, like, when he gives me a green light, it's like, boom, 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 boom. And I literally have experienced that. Not to say I haven't had tests, because God has to test to approve things. So it's not to say I haven't had tests, but when he puts me on a mission, like, it is always, like, it's not just Nikki that gets impacted.
Right.
It's so many others. And it's not just maybe the individual that asked me. Because, like, you may come to me and say, Nikki, can you do? Well, like, let me talk to Jesus first. And then who else is impacted? How does this help? So, like, because if it's not the masses and if it's not for his glory, then, like, what are we really doing?
Right.
And that's in everything. Like, even in my social media business, I will not take clients that come to me and are like, I want to go viral. Why? Why do you want to go viral? What is your message? If you come to me telling me I want to become a millionaire and use social media to do it, it's like, I might not be your social media person, because I'm clear that God is sending me people that have blueprints that other people need to hit their level of success. The reason he has allowed me to have this gift of telling people stories on social media is simply because it's someone else's blueprint. Like, the shoot that I'm here in Atlanta doing. So we posted something on her page, so simplistic, and I told her, I said, you gotta tell the story. Like, this journal is the story. You've got to tell the story. We posted it. She told a little bit of it. It was so cool because I watched her eyes water up, like, as we were doing it. It was her first live. That live has gotten more views, more comments, more likes. And when you read the stuff that people are writing, it's because her story wasn't for her.
Right.
So yes, I can take you as a client because you got a story that will impact someone else. And I think if we get those pieces that, like, these things that God writes in our stories are never about us. It's like he wrote the tragedy, he wrote the hurt, he wrote the I don't understand in there so that we can impact others. Now let me make sure I'm obedient to the next step on this path that he's called me to. So yeah, I hope I answered that
Definitely. So a lot of times here in the CLC community, we talk about there being different levels and categories to confidence, right? Like, you could be, I don't know, a level 1, maybe at home, right? You're not really sure where you stand with your family, but you could be level 10 at work because you know you got your job down, or vice versa, right? You could say, oh yeah, like, I'm level 10. I encounter a lot of women. They say, I don't need confidence coaching because I look amazing. Oh, okay. And I'm like, I'm so happy for you that you do.
Right.
And they do.
Right.
But so there's much more to that. So what do you say to the woman who, she wants to grow in her business, right? She wants to grow in her business, but she struggles with maybe some boundary building or some decision making, or, having that executive level of execution.
Okay, so confidence doesn't come overnight. Like, people look at me and they think that I am the most confident person in the world. And I am so transparent with people. No, Jesus is still working on me every single day. Every single day. And I think that God will send you people to help grow that. Like, thank God for my mentorship, because I said yes to something that looked like lipstick and makeup. And when I said yes, there were days I debated, like, am I going to park my car on the railroad track because I don't want to be here? You know, and nobody knew. Right. Like, because the world, it's like, oh my God, like, she's so beautiful, right? Like, oh my God, she's doing all these things. And like, I remember 2 years after I met my mentor, being on a Zoom call. It was like I was like right in the peak of like really blowing up in my business. And I remember I was on a Zoom call doing a freaking facial and had to hold myself together because it was the first time I was looking at myself and thought I was beautiful. And like, mind you, at this point I've worked myself to the top 2% of the company. And nobody could have imagined that I was the girl that, because like the world paints this picture of like realistically light skin, dark skin in our world, that like, no, like light skin is in and dark skin is out. So I fought it all the way, like coming up and going through. So I do think it's and I still have to process. Like, I went to Colombia and they worship the ground I walked on. And so like really owning that, like, oh no, like this that God made is amazing and beautiful. I think it's an everyday thing. I think you also have to be very aware of the people you have around you. Oh yes. You know, because that confidence, like, whether we want to, people live in this fantasy where, oh, I ain't bothered by what you say. Oh, no, words pierce, they hurt, and they resound, especially if we let the enemy let them keep playing back in our head. Loop. Oh yes. So I think we have to be very careful. And sometimes you're in situations where you're going to be exposed to people that will say the hurtful things, but I think you also have to be aware to be very intentional about people that have higher levels of speaking life into you to counterbalance. Like, oh my God, like my 11-year-old kid is the best confidence builder ever. Okay, because he is like, Mom, this is the best macaroni and cheese. What did you do to this mac? And it's like, to him, I have this super cape on. So like, I am very much, people don't know, but I am very much introverted. I love being in the space with my children because to them, it is all, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's my baby kids, because my older ones, dear Jesus, only God knows what they think from day to day. You know, they have all their opinions about whatever. But I love having them close because they're confidence builder, and they're tiny little confidence builder. So I think that women have to be very aware of even those atmospheres at home. You know, like part of my divorce situation, and thank God, like my kid's father is very different than he was when I decided to file for divorce. But like, that was not confidence building. It was like, dude, like, how could you say that? Why would you? And people don't realize, like, verbal abuse can be 10 times worse than physical abuse. Because, like, once you punch me, like, okay, maybe my face stings and we keep it moving. But words will replay over. Creates very deep. OMG. And so, like, that, I think you have to be very careful. And that again, like I said, the mentorship is what helped me to kind of go, yeah, no, like, this is killing me. This is making me not want to be on this earth. This is not okay. Like, I got to get myself around some people that continuously speak life. And then the other piece was, I have to also teach people that when you're not going to speak life in me, you got to get out of my life. Oh, yes. You cannot have access to my life and be something that would cause me to have words that will replay in my head. Because even like in correction, like when you love somebody and you care, like there's a way to do it to not tear them down. Absolutely. And so, like, if just being honest. Yeah, no, yeah, right. Like, what was that? Like, no. You can't be honest with that. Right. You know, this is one of the things that I firmly do believe that, like, coaches and mentors and people that really care about you, like, one of the things that, and me and my mentor have, like, one of the best relationships when it comes to, like, the exchange of how we bring hard things to each other. You know, it is very cautious because we care about the relationship. We care about, like, I don't want to hurt you. Right. I only want to build you. So it's so interesting because, like, when I have a hard thing that I have to bring to her, it's like, hey, okay, so can I be honest about what I think? Like, really, like, because this is a hard thing. So it's with caution and with love, because people underestimate the power of words. And if you've got people that are not cautious about how they speak life into you, whether they are correcting you on maybe how you raise your kids, or whether they're giving you business advice or whatever it is, if they're not cautious about how they impart the information, well, then it becomes detrimental.
Yeah, because you're going to be cautious or careless.
Period. And so when you have, like, especially as an ambitious person, because as an ambitious person, like, you always want to be the best. You want to be the top. You want to be number one. So when you're hitting brick walls, having the people around you that can then go, well, okay, this is why I think you're hitting the wall. Tweak, versus, no, you're not going to hit that because of this. It's how do you help me to correct the thing? Because I'm going to be hard enough. We are hard enough on ourselves. We don't need to send out a freaking call to the world to also add their crap. You can correct, love me, and help me grow if you do it in the same love, the same way. And I go back to this. Do it the same way God does it to me. Because he can correct me, chastise me, and help me grow without ripping a shred of who he made me to be. And he does it all the time. Spankings from Jesus, I'd be like, well, that was a spanking, but, like, you know what I mean?
Right, it's different.
You never leave a spanking from God feeling like he doesn't care about you.
Right.
And if you have people surrounding you, like, I think that's the biggest piece to growing your confidence, or really walking in that as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a whoever. It's being aware and like, in complete honesty. Like, I love my older kids to life, but I have seasons where I'm like, oh no, absolutely not. You know, like, I had my oldest kid at 17. And so, like, I'm so glad he's 21. He has his own kid now, because, like, now you get to see, buddy. You know, but also knowing, hey, no, okay, you know what? You're going to go through that. You're going to get to figure it out. So right now, keep your distance, because absolutely not. You not even allowing, because sometimes we give our kids a pass. And when you've birthed someone and you've loved someone and you've grown someone, right?
Yeah.
And then they turn into these adults that know it all. Their words can be more piercing. Our children's words can be the most building, but also can be the most piercing. So understanding even how to create boundaries within those relationships.
Yeah.
And not feeling bad and not letting the world crucify you.
Right.
Because of it. Because your mental health and your confidence affects so much more of what you do. But it's a continuous journey, and it's a continuation of always being able to set boundaries that are clear with you and God. Like, as long as it's here good, like, all y'all can, you know, y'all will figure it out. But that's always my thing. Is like, okay, God, if I set this boundary to make sure that this stays good, so that I can do what you've asked me to do. Like, are you upset with me if I do this boundary? And I've had some boundaries that I've had to go back and, like, let me apologize. Like, I needed to pull away. I thought for me, God wanted me to actually go through that season so I could learn that. And sometimes he'll take you through the season. So it's like, well, I want to cut this cord.
Right. I don't really feel that, Lord. You know.
Why? Why can't I cut it?
You let this cut pass. You know, not.
But you consult with him. Because it's not on all time. I don't always get the okay to go.
Right.
Sometimes he's like, no, because it's something different I need you to learn in this lesson.
Yeah.
It's something different. But that's where that relationship, peace, and hearing him clearly. Sometimes I was like, I just want to get, you know, this is stress, right? And he's like, no.
You see what I'm seeing, right?
And he's like, no, it's not, daughter, it's not stress. It's a lesson. It's a lesson I need you to learn for where I'm taking you now. And you got to pass the lesson.
Right.
Or you get to retake the test.
Yes.
And I'd be like, yeah, I didn't like retake a test at school. I was like, nah, we're going to pass it this first time.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's so important. Thank you, you know, for that. And, you know, we touch on so many different aspects of womanhood, you know, as we could say in the show. And, you know, I only have my perspective. I always tell people, look, I'm a Black woman. You know, the show is for all women, but I can only speak, you know, from my vantage. I don't pretend to carry the experience of others. And being in an interracial family now, it's a whole other dynamic. Leaving California, moving to the South, you know, it's a journey. You know, it's different dynamics. And you know, speaking to a conversation we were having earlier, people will project. Right, so they'll look at me and they say, "Oh, well, it's easy to be you because you're taken care of. You married this white man and he just takes care of you." And I'm like, "Oh, honey." Right.
Because you don't know the other stuff that I deal with because I married this white man.
Oh, honey, right. Yeah, and you know, it's what you were saying is so important about, you know, especially being a mom, right? Everyone having their opinions, and I'm glad that you shared what you shared because a lot of people, myself included, need to be reminded that you're Nikki first, right? You were Nikki first before you ever had however many other kids, however many other businesses. And if you continue to just allow all of your other priorities, take precedence over your main one, it's not sustainable.
Oh, yeah. You'd be ready to jump.
Yeah.
Without the parachute. Hey.
But it's not talked about enough.
Right.
You know, so even with my daughter, she's only 1, I don't let her take me on any rides. I don't. I was getting my hair done this morning and my braider came over to my house. And, you know, my daughter was crying. I could see her on the camera. She's in her room. And I'm like, she's good. I mean, I'm her mom. Like, but no one loves her more than me.
Right. Exactly.
No one wants the best for her more than me.
Exactly.
But I can't let her take me on any rides.
Exactly. And
so
it starts early.
Yeah, and the moment, because she was taking down my braids, right? So the moment I was like, okay, how many braids do you have left? She goes, I have 3 braids left. I said, okay. The moment she finished that 3rd braid, we looked at the camera, my daughter fell asleep. If I would have like rushed and like taken that ride emotionally, then running up the stairs, 6 months pregnant, like, no, it's just the peace of God. And it's, I'm so glad that you are very open and transparent about your relationship with God because again, people aren't really talking about that enough either. And it's so important because you have a peace that surpasses all understanding.
Right.
People will look at you and be like, how are you not freaking out? How are you so calm right now? Well, because, I mean, you must know.
Right. Because trust me, he will chastise you. Just like a parent should. If I'm not doing something I'm supposed to do, I will get spanked.
Yeah.
Period. So to me, your opinion is just that.
Right.
Because if he ain't checked me, boo, who are you?
I had a psychiatrist once tell me, she didn't use this language, but this is a family-friendly show. Right. So she tells me, she goes, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has them and they're full of crap.
Right.
I was like, dang.
End of the story.
Like, she was like, you gotta do what's right for you. I was like, well, okay, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, seriously, like when I get to heaven, you're not going with me. My children aren't going with me. Like, God is not going to pull out a book and go, oh my gosh, okay, so let me tell you what all these other people thought about what you did. He's going to go, so this is what you did.
Right. It's a solo
period.
Journey. Yeah.
We're not connecting arms. We're probably not going at the same time. So it's like, why? Like, why are we making allowance? And it's a hard place to get to. And the world will not understand when you get to that place. But it's such a freeing place to get to where it's like, I'm just not. Like there is such a strength in like not answering your phone when you know, like this person that's calling may or may not be bringing me something I don't want to. I don't have to answer that.
This is the time for that. Right.
Period.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a freedom in like eliminating just those opinions from being so heavily a part of our, and again, I think mentorship is key.
Right.
I think mentorship is super key. My not my biological aunt, but her name is Gloria Gardner. Like,
love her.
Oh, she's gold.
Yes, love her.
She's complete gold. Like, when I say it is, and there's nothing in the world that I would ever, like, I could not give her enough for what she's done for me. There's nothing that she needs from me. It's such a pure, but one of the biggest pieces that she plays in my life is she'll tell me, Nisi, I'll just be so happy when you get to the place that none of the noise bothers you. You're getting there, baby.
Wow.
And she always says that to me. You're getting there. You've come a long way.
Yeah.
you know? But like, she sends me messages, and it's the mentorship that plays such an impact in who I'm becoming. So I think people take too lightly. Like, when you go to somebody, you say, will you be my mentor? Like, well, will you adhere to the things that they're going to bring to you that may not, because sometimes she says stuff and I don't have to like it.
Right.
But I trust what she sees in me, what she loves in me, who she wants me to become. That even in the hard things, I'll be like, okay, all right, auntie, you know, because her end goal for me is what she believes I will become. And I don't even see all of it. I know I don't. She sees massive stuff for me. But it's me getting past these. And there was a point, I'd be on the phone all the time. Let me tell you what happened. I didn't tell you. I can't believe. And I'm like, girl, I don't really ever ring her phone for anything anymore. It's like, not for that stuff. Because it's gotten to a place where it's like, oh, let me check my bank account and see if you made a deposit in it. Yeah, you didn't make a deposit in it. I don't think so.
No, you don't get this. You're not making deposits into my bank account. You get to withdraw my piece.
Period. Period. And that's really it.
Yeah.
Is let me check to see if what you're bringing me, that's going to take my energy, take my joy, take, you know, my ability to concentrate today, take my focus, take whatever it is that if you are a taker.
Yeah, it's not right.
Let me see if you deposit it into this legacy I gotta leave for these 5 kids.
Yeah, insufficient.
No. It's like, it's so like, and I love like how God has created just simple parallels for us to be able to understand. Like, it's exactly that of a bank account. Go swipe your card. Add a bank account that has nothing in it. You haven't deposited anything, go swipe it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even if it went through, and you don't have the funds,
it
will be negative.
Yeah.
Later. And if you don't pay for it today or tomorrow or a month from now, then it goes on your credit, and then it affects you long term. So think about that parallel on like somebody coming in withdrawing something and leaving something negative impacted in your life. Maybe it doesn't affect you today. Maybe not the next 30 days. Maybe a year from now, you have the effects of this withdrawal that happened early in. So no, like giving people space to do that to anyone, but like definitely as women, because we wear all of the hats. I know when I first started entrepreneurship, I felt like I was standing in a room screaming at the top of my lungs as a mom and a wife and whatever work I was doing at the time, you know, and I always was really successful no matter what I put my hand to. Like, thank God for that gift. But I remember feeling like I was just standing, and everybody's like, oh, it's okay. It's just mom. It's okay. She's, and I don't know, like I'm drowning. But it's because I was allowing all of these things. So what is the deposit? And that's for everybody. It's not exclusive to people outside of your home. And I think we struggle with that with the people that are under the same roof as us. You're not depositing, you don't get to withdraw. Period. Kids, husband, boyfriend, mama, daddy, sisters. And oh my gosh. So I come from I have a lot of sisters, you know, and like a couple of them I'm very, very close to. And people people are always like, you don't talk to some of your sisters. Oh my God, I'm praying for that. Don't! No. Don't pray for that. Don't pray for that. Because like, it's gotta be reciprocation here. And people struggle with that. Well, we're all supposed to, no, we're not. You go find, somebody go get that for me in the Bible. Where God calls us to deal with all of the psychoticness that can come sometimes from the toxic relationships, even inside of our bloodline. No, absolutely. I don't care who you are. If you're withdrawing and pulling from me, and there's never a deposit, no.
God told Abraham to leave everybody and everything and go.
Who does this?
Yeah,
but that's the conversation. Like that's so much of the conversation, you know. Like I'm like, again, I love parallel. I like how God just makes stuff simple for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like when people are going through, like kidney, what is it called? Like dialysis, right? When they're going through dialysis, like that process is done to like clean up like their blood, you know, like when they're that cleans their blood, right? So this is what I always tell people. So if there is a process to clean toxic blood out so that you can live, why in life do you think it's different? Because like there is nothing new is under the sun.
Right.
So if there's a process to clean out your blood called dialysis so that you can live, because toxic blood will kill you, why do we not get that?
Right.
In our relationships? And that's for anyone. If you've got toxic blood running through, if your bloodline is toxic, the people in your bloodline, do not be afraid to do a dialysis check with the people in your bloodline. No.
Start filtering.
Filter. Because I need it to be healthy, happy. And it's not that we don't go through our things, it's how we go through our things. And if we can't do that and it still not be toxicity, oh no, you got to be filtered out. You get dialysis treatment.
Yeah.
And I'm hardcore about that. Hardcore. Mama, daddy, sister, brother, don't care who you are. You will be dialysis up and out because toxic blood flowing through your real body will kill you.
Yeah.
Toxic blood flowing through your life will kill you, will kill your spirit, will kill your ambition. Yes. Well, and like you think about all these people, and you know, like nobody ever wants to like really face the reality of how people get to suicide. I'm very transparent. Like I've lived that life. I've been there. I've had those moments of like, God, I don't want to be here. And like people would be like, oh, well, it's just a mental order. No. Like mental disorder, yes, on some aspect, but there's a step,
it's a progression
path that happens of things that happen over and over. And most times the things that happen over and over are tied to people that are the closest to us. And it becomes extremely overwhelming. Then it's like, oh, well, the cheeseburger was made wrong, so today I'm done. But
that was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Period. And it's because people are afraid to go, no, I got to filter you out. Like,
or they don't even realize it's an option.
Period. They feel like because we have the same last name, or because we have no, because if I want to jump off the bridge because of something you did, if it even has to cross my mind, if I have to breathe too hard through it,
red flag.
Because if you can make me think about hurting me, no. So I think that people have to be okay with the filter process. Like, no level. So sorry. Love you, me from a distance.
Right. Yes.
From a distance. The world.
My family gives me a hard time because I say I love them and I let them go. I love them and I let them go.
I love that song. From a distance, the world.
Yes. Wow. The time always goes by so fast. It's so fast. So one of my favorite parts of the show is called The Final Word. Right, so all of our listeners and viewers today, they know the final word. You know, they have parked their cars, right? The lunch break is over, they're about to get out. And the final word is the last thing that you want, the main message you want to leave, you know, with the listeners or the viewers today, the audience, to say, okay, listen, I'm Nikki Cullen and I need you to know, girl, this. You know, it could be something we've already talked about. It could be something new that God placed on your heart, but it's your main message that, like, listen, if you are just now tuning in or you forgot everything we already said, like right now, this is what I need you to know. What do you want to drop? What gem do you want to leave?
So I think the biggest thing for me, and it's such a simplistic, it is my whole message, it is everything that I believe to my core, is like in life, we are going to go through challenges. We're going to have the hard things. We're going to go through the tests. We're going to have a life happening. Life is happening always. And I had a mentor that gave me this, and it was one of the most freeing things for me, understanding that, like, no. I know who loves me. And so first thing I would say is if you're listening to this or watching this and you don't know who God is, like that is your strength. That is plug into that, because there's a level of strength that you'll tap into there that is like none other. He loves you. He's your daddy. Like I'm the biggest daddy's girl ever. Like, oh my God, you know, from a person that didn't have that, like I didn't really grow up. I was a grandpa's baby, you know. But the love that God has for me, I imagine this is what it was like to be a daddy's girl, how he spoils me. So if you don't have that relationship with God, and if you don't know him, like leave a message if she puts this up, wherever it is, like send her a message so we can introduce you to who God is. That's the first piece. But the second piece is if you have that relationship with God and you know who he is, there's two ways to look at everything that's going to happen in your life. You can believe one or two things, and it's not circumstantial. You get to make that choice today in this moment. Is God's plan flawed, or is his plan perfect? You choose. Which one do you believe his plan is for you? And you don't get to change it based off of the day. You choose which one you believe. And when I say it's so freeing and understanding, because for me the choice is his plan is always perfect. It's always perfect. So even when it's like, what the crap is happening right now? I can then go, okay, well, I know you see this, right? I know your plan for me is perfect, and your plan is to prosper me. You don't mean me harm. You don't mean evil to come to me. So if your plan for me is perfect, why then would I be concerned about this temporary circumstance that I can see right now in the natural? Because the end game for me is perfect. So understanding that helps you maneuver faster through whatever, through the chaos, through the divorces, through the ups, through the downs, through the amazing moments, through the his plan is always perfect, and it will elevate you to a higher level of gratitude always. Because then you learn to praise God in the storms, knowing, oh, where are you taking me through? Why are you taking me through this? Because it's something, you know, it puts you in that state versus a place of why?
Yeah, weary and worried.
Why? Why? No, when you get that unspeakable Jesus joy, that you know his plan for your life is, and choose. Maybe for you, it's always flawed, but you can choose that. I will tell you this though, understanding that his plan for your life is so perfect puts you in a place where you're never, when I say never, and when I started my entrepreneurship journey, which I started with the one question of asking God to give me the faith for the woman that stood on the stage. And this was what she gave me. Like and it's so crazy. I realized that she had given me this gift literally probably 7 days before she passed. I grabbed her hands and I said, I know what I can see in the natural. I know what I can see right now in the natural. Because we could see that she was like disintegrating in front of us, you know? And I remember like holding her hand. I said, our God would fix this my way. The way I want him to do it. Just to prove how powerful he is, because I know his plan is always perfect. I know his plan is perfect. So even in this, I choose to believe that this is part of his perfect plan. And my will would be that she would have lived. But his plan was perfect, because what I asked God for was give me faith of a woman that had 6 months to live when I met her. And he gave me 5 years. So that I could get the understanding that this was the plan, daughter. I gave you 5 years to get you to a place that you understood my will. My plan is perfect so that you can help other people understand that my will, my plan is perfect. So choose perfect or flawed.
Wow. You got me over here. Take a step back. That is amazing. Wow. Nikki, I'm eternally grateful. You spending your precious time here with us at Crown Level Confidence, getting into real conversation. Like, y'all know it's not scripted. I don't have no flashcards, no nothing, no teleprompter. Just all the Holy Spirit just leading us and guiding us. I know for a fact there is someone watching, listening, however, who needed to hear something that was said today. You brought a message, even if it's just one woman somewhere on this planet, because we're worldwide.
Hello,
okay?
Come on.
Multi-continent here. But it's not about me. It's about the message, right? It's about you having the courage to be transparent and to be authentic. It's about you sharing your story for His glory. Right? And so I thank you for that, because it takes a lot of confidence to talk about sensitive areas. Right? We're always bolstering, oh, I got this, I'm strong, I'm this and that. And you are. Right? But someone else right now is not. And they need to know that it's okay to come through.
Period.
To get to the other side. So this has been an amazing conversation. I'm just so blessed by you, to know you, to be able to call you my friend, you have been there for me in times where you probably didn't even realize the level that you blessed me just in a conversation, so I have the full crown level of confidence to know that someone heard something that you had to say. And we have the Facebook group Crown Level Confidence between the episodes. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of comments pouring in there about what they've heard you say, whether they do or don't know God and they want to know God. We're going to connect all of Nikki's socials to the episode, so y'all will be able to connect with her directly and let her know. Now listen, okay, let me just put this out here. You contact my girl Nikki. I'm looking at all the cameras. You contact her. You better come correctly, okay? We have discussed boundary building, anti-toxicity. Don't come over messaging her acting like you don't know what to do, okay? And don't be asking her to discount either. Talking about, look at my social, just let me run something by you. No, there's no running. Book an appointment. Don't do that here. But in all seriousness, I'm just, like I said, I can't thank God for you enough. And I know, and I'm looking forward to how we can continue to grow with one another and even look back after another, 3, 4, 5 years and say, wow, look at what God has done since then, So y'all, this has been the best on location episode, extended edition of Crown Level Confidence. Stay tuned. We'll have some announcements that will play shortly, but y'all, I am so grateful for each of you. I love you, and I'm happy that you love me too. Y'all, stay tuned.
Thank you for tuning into another empowering episode of Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found it both insightful and inspiring. If you'd like to be a featured guest on the show and share your journey of confidence and self-belief, please reach out to me at podcast@kaliajanae.com. I'm always eager to connect with remarkable individuals who have a story to tell. And for those interested in connecting with me for speaking engagements or mindset coaching, you can find more information on my website, kaliajanae.com. I'd love to hear from you and explore how we can work together to inspire and empower others. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode filled with actionable tips and heartfelt stories. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd truly appreciate it if you could leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire even more people to straighten their crowns. Remember, your journey to unstoppable confidence is a continuous adventure. I'm happy to support you every step of the way. Keep believing in yourself, keep shining, and always wear your crown with pride. Until next time, this is Kalia Janae, your host, signing off. Stay confident, stay empowered, and keep leveling up.